Leo was a young man with a big dream but very empty pockets. He lived in a small, gray town where it rained almost every day. Leo worked as an assistant to the town baker. It was a hard job. Every morning his alarm rang at 4 o'clock. While the rest of the town was warm and asleep, Leo was awake, kneading heavy dough and carrying heavy sacks of flour. Leo hated the flour. It got into his hair, his nose, and his clothes. But mostly, Leo hated the waiting. At the end of every week, the baker gave Leo 3 silver coins. Leo would look at the coins and frown. "This is not enough," he complained to himself. "I want to wear fine silk suits. I want to live in a big house on the hill. But at this rate, I will be an old man before I'm rich." Leo was very impatient. He wanted the reward without the work. He wanted the destination without the journey. One rainy Tuesday evening, Leo was walking home. The wind was cold, and his shoes were wet. He walked with his head down, angry at his life. Suddenly, he saw a warm, yellow light glowing in a narrow alleyway. He stopped. He had walked this street 1,000 times, but he had never seen a shop there before. Curious, Leo walked toward the light. A wooden sign hung above the door. It read, "The Time Shop." Leo pushed the door open. Ding-a-ling. The shop was warm and smelled like old books and cinnamon. The walls were covered with clocks. There were big clocks, small clocks, and strange clocks with 12 hands. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. The sound filled the room. "Welcome," a deep voice said. From behind the counter stepped an old man. He had wild white hair and wore spectacles on the end of his nose. He looked like a wizard from a storybook. "I am Mr. Kronos," the man said with a smile. "You look tired, young man." "I am tired," Leo admitted, shaking the rain off his coat. "I work hard every day, but I get nowhere. I want to be rich, but time moves so slowly." Mr. Kronos's eyes sparkled behind his glasses. He leaned over the counter. "Time is a tricky thing," he whispered. "Most people want more time. But you seem to want less of it." "I just want to skip the boring parts," Leo said. "I want to skip the work and get straight to the money." Mr. Kronos nodded slowly. "I have a solution for that. I have a special invention in the back room. It can trade your time for gold. Are you interested?" Leo's eyes widened. "Is it dangerous?" "Only if you do not understand the value of what you are selling," Mr. Kronos replied mysteriously. "Come with me." Leo followed the old man through a velvet curtain, his heart beating fast. He did not know it yet, but his life was about to change forever. The back room was even stranger than the front. It was filled with shadows and ticking sounds. In the center of the room stood a large, strange machine. It looked like a mix between a giant clock and a steam engine. It was made of polished brass and had many gears, wheels, and pipes. On the front, there was a large silver lever. Next to the lever were markings: 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. "This is the time compressor," Mr. Kronos explained, patting the cold metal. "It is very simple to use." Leo walked closer, his eyes wide with wonder. "How does it work?" "You simply choose how much time you want to sell," the old man said. "If you pull the lever to 1 month, you will skip the next 30 days of your life. You will not feel the hard work. You will not feel the boredom. It will happen in the blink of an eye." "And the money?" Leo asked. "When you open your eyes, the money you would have earned during that time will be in your pockets." "Instantly," Mr. Kronos promised. Leo smiled. It sounded perfect. No work, only money. Mr. Kronos pulled a scroll of paper from his pocket. "But first, you must sign the contract." Leo looked at the paper. It said, "I agree to trade my time for gold. Time spent can never be returned." Leo did not hesitate. He did not think about the spring flowers he would miss or the conversations he would skip. He took the pen and signed his name, Leo. "Excellent," Mr. Kronos said softly. "Why don't you try it? Start small." Leo stood in front of the machine. His hands were shaking with excitement. He grabbed the heavy silver lever. "I will skip 1 month," Leo said. "I want my salary without the bakery flour." He pulled the lever down to the first mark. Click. Suddenly, the machine began to hum. Whirrst. A golden mist filled the glass pipes. The room began to spin. Leo felt very dizzy. The colors of the room melted together like wet paint. He closed his eyes. Whoosh. The noise stopped abruptly. Leo opened his eyes. He was standing in the same spot, but the air felt different. It was warmer. He looked at his hands. His fingernails were longer. He touched his face. He needed to shave. Quickly, he reached into his pocket. It was heavy. He pulled out a handful of silver coins. It was exactly the amount of money he earned in 4 weeks at the bakery. "It works!" Leo shouted, laughing. "I am rich and I didn't lift a single bag of flour." Mr. Kronos stood in the corner, watching him with a sad expression. "You have your money, Leo, but remember, that month is gone forever." "Who cares?" Leo said, counting his coins. "I have everything I need." But Leo was wrong. He had the money, but he had just lost 30 days of his life, and he didn't even notice. The silver coins did not last long. Leo bought a new coat, ate delicious meals at restaurants, and did not work for weeks. But soon his pockets were empty again. Leo returned to the time shop. The bell rang, ding-a-ling. Mr. Kronos was polishing a small pocket watch. He looked up and sighed. "Back again, Leo?" "I need more," Leo said impatiently. 1 month was too short. The money is gone. I want to buy a big house. I want a horse and carriage. I want to be the richest man in town. "You are very greedy," Mr. Kronos said quietly. "Are you sure? 5 years is a long time to lose." "I am sure," Leo said. He walked to the machine. He did not look at the old man. He only looked at the lever. Leo grabbed the cold handle. He pulled it down hard, past 1 month, past 1 year, all the way to 5 years. Whirrst! The machine shook violently. The golden mist swirled faster than a storm. The room spun around Leo. He felt like he was falling into a deep sleep. When he opened his eyes, he felt heavy. He looked down at himself. He was no longer wearing his dirty bakery clothes. He was wearing a suit made of fine green silk. On his finger, there was a large, heavy gold ring. He touched his face and felt a thick beard. He checked his pockets. They were overflowing with gold notes and bank papers. "I did it," Leo whispered. "I am wealthy." He walked out of the shop, feeling proud. He discovered that he now owned the largest white stone house in the town center. People bowed when he walked past them. He felt like a king. He decided to walk to the park to show off his new clothes. In the park, he saw a woman sitting on a bench. It was Clara, his best friend from childhood. He smiled and walked over to her. "Clara!" Leo called out cheerfully. "Look at me! Look at my success!" Clara looked up. Her face was different. She looked older, and her eyes were tired. She was holding a small child in her arms. She looked at Leo with confusion. "Leo, is that you?" "Yes, it is me," Leo said. "I have returned." Clara stood up slowly. She did not smile. "Returned? Leo, you disappeared for 5 years. You were just gone. You missed my wedding. You missed the birth of my son, Thomas. We thought you were dead." Leo's smile faded. I was working," he lied. "Well," Clara said coldly, "you are a stranger to us now. You have your money, Leo, but you have no friends left here." She turned around and walked away. Leo watched her go. He stood alone in the park, surrounded by his gold coins. For the first time, he felt a cold ache in his chest. He was rich, but he was incredibly lonely. "It doesn't matter," Leo told himself, trying to ignore the pain. "I don't need friends. I need more power. I need to be the king of the city." He turned back toward the dark alleyway. Leo ran back to the time shop. He was out of breath, but his eyes were wild with greed. He kicked the door open. Bang! Mr. Kronos was sitting in his chair, reading a thick book. He did not look surprised. He looked sad. "I want it all," Leo demanded. "I am tired of this town. I am tired of seeing people who judge me. I want enough money to buy the whole city. I want to be the most powerful man in the world." Mr. Kronos stood up slowly. "Leo, stop," he warned. His voice was stern. "You have already lost 5 years. You have lost your friends. If you do this again, there is no turning back." "I don't care about turning back," Leo shouted. "I only care about moving forward." Leo pushed the old man aside and ran to the machine. He looked at the lever. There was one final setting at the very bottom. It was marked in red ink. A lifetime. "Do not touch that," Mr. Kronos yelled. But Leo did not listen. He grabbed the lever with both hands. He pulled it down with all his strength. Crack! The machine roared like a monster. The ground shook. The golden mist turned into a blinding white light. Leo screamed as he felt a terrible pressure in his chest. It felt like the weight of the whole world was crushing him. The spinning did not stop for a long time. Finally, the noise faded. The room became silent. Leo tried to step away from the machine, but his legs were weak. They trembled and buckled under him. He fell to his knees. What happened?" Leo whispered. His voice sounded strange. It was scratchy and weak. He looked at his hands. They were covered in wrinkles and liver spots. His skin was thin like paper. His fingers were crooked. "No," he gasped. He slowly stood up, holding onto the machine for support. He saw a mirror on the wall. He shuffled toward it. Leo looked into the glass and screamed. Staring back at him was not a young man. It was an old man with a bald head and a long white beard. His face was lined with deep wrinkles. His back was hunched over. He checked his pockets. They were bursting with diamonds, gold, and jewels. He was the richest man in the world. But then he looked around the shop. "Mr. Kronos?" he called out weakly. "I am here," the shopkeeper said softly. "How long?" Leo asked, tears rolling down his old, wrinkled cheeks. "How long did I skip?" "You skipped 50 years, Leo," Mr. Kronos said. "Your parents are gone. Your friends are old or gone. You have spent your whole life in 1 second. Leo fell to the floor and wept. He had all the money in the world, but he had no time left to spend it. Leo sat on the floor of the shop, a lonely old man surrounded by diamonds. His body ached, his hands shook, and his heart was filled with heavy regret. "Take it back," Leo croaked, holding out a handful of jewels to Mr. Kronos. "Take all of it. I don't want to be rich anymore. I just want to be young again. I want to see Clara. I want to feel the rain on my face." Mr. Kronos looked down at Leo with pity. "I cannot take the money, Leo. You signed the contract. You sold your time." "Then I made a terrible mistake," Leo cried. "I thought money was the most important thing, but I was wrong. Time is the true treasure. Money can buy a house, but it cannot buy a home. It can buy a clock, but it cannot buy time." Leo closed his eyes. He thought about the smell of the bakery. He thought about the hard work he used to hate. He realized that the work was part of life. The waiting made the reward sweet. He would give anything to be that poor, tired boy again. "Please," Leo whispered, "I understand now." Mr. Kronos watched him closely. He saw that Leo's tears were real. He saw that his heart had truly changed. "Very well," Mr. Kronos said softly. "It is rare that I do this, but everyone deserves a second chance if they truly learn their lesson." The old man walked to the machine. He placed his hand on the lever and pushed it up. Whir, click, whir. The machine began to spin in reverse. The golden mist turned blue. The room spun backwards. The wrinkles on Leo's hands faded away. His white beard disappeared. His back straightened. Leo felt a rush of cold air. He blinked his eyes open. He was standing on the wet cobblestone street outside the shop. It was raining. He looked down at his hands. They were young, strong, and covered in flour. He touched his face. Smooth skin. He was a boy again. Leo laughed. He danced in the rain. He did not care that he was cold. He did not care that he was poor. He had his time back. He ran all the way to Clara's house and knocked on the door. When she opened it, he hugged her tightly. "Leo?" she asked, surprised. "Why are you so happy? You have work tomorrow at 4 a.m. "I know," Leo beamed, "and I can't wait." From that day on, Leo worked hard. He did not become rich quickly. It took him many years of saving and working, but he enjoyed every sunset, every conversation, and every moment of waiting. He learned that the journey is just as beautiful as the destination, and he never ever wished to speed up time again.